Are you going to be like sharing the broadcast like live,
Oh,
like of
yeah,
the
I meant to
speech?
do that too. I can do that, so I can switch. You'll have to view that on. Whoops. Ugh. I'm gonna switch back here. Sorry, everyone. I'm
Live,
Oh,
like of
yeah,
the
I meant to
speech
do
book?
that too. I can do that, so I can switch. You'll have to view that on. And now we're getting some feedback. Hello, everybody, if you're out there. We're just in orbit right now, seeing what we can do about this malfunctioning timeline. With me, I got Commander Digby. Yes, sir. That's me, Commando Digby. Also with us, Lieutenant TZ, an ethereal voice, likely from the ship's computer. Are you there, TZ?
Lieutenant TZ reported for duty. Thank you.
Also on this journey, we have Lieutenant Clock Radio. Lieutenant Clock Radio, what are the prospects for a good timeline mend? Are we going to be able to pull this one off? Do you think so? Is this timeline even remotely repairable? Oh. He says we're going to have a rough one with this one. What are your thoughts, TZ?
I think with all the space delay and the fact that we're light years apart and the fact that it adds to like a 7-second delay between our communications between all of us makes this a very, very challenging opportunity for comedy. So therefore, I think we should take this opportunity and relish it.
Greetings, everybody. I'm TM77. I'm here to repair your timeline. Got a call. If you're just joining us, I have somewhere here, Lieutenant or Commander Digby. Hello, everybody. I'm Commando Digby. I will be using my generative AI to fix this timeline. Let's see here. We're going to pull up the information on the timeline here any minute. Greetings, Alex Novell. It's good to see you here. Alex Novell is a fellow traveler. We could use your help on this timeline. It's unusually damaged. Mr. Clock Radio says it's completely not repairable. I'm going to ask him again to give us a second call on this timeline, see if it can be fixed. Lieutenant Clock Radio, are we going to be able to fix this timeline? What are your thoughts? That's right, he thinks we can do it this time. I think we can do it, TM. Alright, gotta pull it up somehow. That's gonna be the first thing we have to do here is pull up this timeline, and sadly I can't even get my bearings here. Bear with me, please. Alright. Let's see here. State of the Union. Address. You guys are just gotta sit tight while I dig in here and take a look at this. I brought a few tools with me. I got my matter oscillating wand. With this, I'll be able to oscillate the fine particles of matter within your timeline, hoping to return your timeline to a less dystopian state. So far, I haven't had much luck, but got all the tools, all my best tools from my civilization back home. So, again, I'm piloting this craft with the latest advanced technology. So I'm in orbit over your planet right now, looking down to see what I can do. Digby, what do you think? I think this is pretty cool. I was looking for something other than just pretty cool. what are your thoughts about the prospects of repairing this timeline? I don't know. I'm just here for the ride. This is gonna be fun. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to pull up the timeline first, and I'm having a hard time seeing through my protective suit. So
President Donald Trump is giving a big speech before Congress Tuesday night, but it's
here, let's
not.
see. Whoops, wrong timeline here. Okay,
President
so
Donald Trump is giving a big speech
we got
before
something going on
Congress
here.
Tuesday night, but it's not technically.
I see trouble.
yeah,
It looks
I don't
just
know.
like a State
It's
of the
not
Union
looking good,
address,
ladies and
which is the
gentlemen.
speech the US
I'm not sure what we're
Constitution
gonna be able to
says
do. I'm gonna have to.
the president should give annually.
Is this what we're here for? Is this the important mission we're gathered here for today?
I'm gonna have to
Will be carried live on TV.
run some numbers here.
But Trump's speech is called a joint address to Congress. That's because the State of the Union is supposed to be a president's look back
Okay.
on the previous year in office. And Trump was just
jeez.
sworn in over a month ago. The origins of the joint address date back to President
Okay,
Ronald Reagan,
all right.
who addressed
Let's take a
Congress
look at
shortly after he was sworn
Here's the
in
initial
his
report.
first term in
I don't know. Let's see if you can
1981.
see that. I'm
Each
having a hard
president
time
who has
seeing it
come after
myself,
him
but
has done
It
the
looks
same.
like 2 Pepsis,
Like
a
the
slice
State
of
of the Union,
pizza,
the
and
opposing party
yeah.
to the one in the White House
$2.99 is
gives a
the
brief speech in
your total,
response.
ladies and gentlemen.
This week, those
So-
remarks are being delivered by Michigan Democratic Senator Alyssa Slatkin.
Let's see here. I'm going to consult some of your text to see before I begin the process. I got to consult some of the ancient Earth texts to determine what's going on here. Are we being heard out there? I think we may have lost transmission. An ancient book I found. Use your brain. I've been reading this, studying up on the culture to see if I can salvage this timeline. So, can you guys hear me? Testing.
It's all good.
Okay.
I mean, it's all good. The YouTube stream looks fantastic.
Okay.
Everything's loud and clear. Don't worry.
Does
Don't
the-
worry. Forget about it.
For those interstellar viewers watching, this is a very primitive culture. Very primitive. Sub-level intelligence. I've met intelligent gas with greater degrees of intelligence than the people on this planet. So it's going to be a rough one because they're going to do everything they can to maintain the dystopian timeline that I'm trying to repair. Whatever happening here is really cool. I'm excited. Even if we don't fix this timeline, it's gonna be fun to watch. Thank you, Commander Digby, for your support. Do we think that there's something wrong with the on-screen display? Is there something else?
Absolutely. Not everything's perfect. Stop being insecure. Everything's gorgeous and beautiful. This mission to correct the timeline will be a mission success. Let's do this.
I appreciate your support, Lieutenant Teasy. How's it looking up there in engineering?
Everything's loud and clear. The beers are flowing, so everything's lubricated.
It looks just like a State of the
Let's,
Union address. Which is
Let's
the
do a little
speech the
searching
US
here. Okay, we're
Constitution
gonna
said-
switch our feed. We're getting some tremendous interference here. There he is, the creature who has affected this timeline. He's not human, but we're gonna do our best to extract you, humans, from this grotesque galactic creature's infestation of your timeline. As you can see, they're wearing the traditional red hat, as is common in most of these lower cultures where the people don't.
Is this a ritual common in humans? What do they even gather in here for? I don't even understand.
Yeah,
what is
it's
going on here.
a lot of unusual decorum in these sub-gas intelligence level creatures. They do a lot of this handshaking, clapping, making noise, all of which indicates a very, very primitive culture. Digby, can you give us analysis of the culture?
Nah, I just want to watch, because this looks cool. These people look real. Are they all old and white?
Yes.
Digby, I think you should get some hair like that. I think you would look good with a wig and a toupee, just like that.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I'd love to have like a mustache. Get a cool mustache. That'd be really fun.
All right. As you can see on the view, whoops, wrong view screen. Sorry about that. I'll try to refrain from doing that. The customary greetings. There's the man, the organism. I believe he's very fond of beer. He likes beer so much to a degree that he will cry when he talks about beer. And Squee on the calendar. You know, a calendar is both a it's a journal and a document of time, as he would say. A fixation with time, often a sign of these lesser cultures too. So,
Man, a lot of whiteness here. Are they all that way, Terminamo?
yes, in the very primitive societies, very homogenized, not a lot of variance in culture. They don't realize the degree to which this sort of inbreeding can produce what you would call lethal genetic combinations. Most of these people would be lethal combinations. Most of these people don't even have first knowledge of genetics, but whoops, pulled up the wrong thing again. I'm going to have to refrain from hitting that button. So I'm going to try to see what I can do with the oscillation wand again. Maybe we can correct the timeline with the oscillation wand.
What's our objective here? What are we trying to accomplish here?
These people are stuck in a horrific dystopian. Are you familiar with the worst timeline? Because this is it. This is
Oh
the
my
worst
God!
timeline.
We're not in that timeline. That one that shall not be named.
Yes, that's correct. You can see the worst timeline is the one in which a crowd applauds a creature of this design. You can see. Gonna punch up some numbers here real quick on the telemetry machine to see if I can. I'm not being able to get in here. I'm not going to be able to break into this timeline. It's gonna. I don't know. It doesn't look good.
Maybe you should get two people to go to that keyboard at once. You and Digby, two people at the keyboard at once
You
might
consider
solve it.
that. Mr. Clock Radio, do you think? What are your thoughts about us? Just let's see, Mr. Clock Radio, where are you? Whoa, Mr. Clock Radio is something's happening to his camera. Mr. Clock Radio, should we just leave orbit right now and abandon the mission?
Thank you very much. It's a great honor. Thank you very much. Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, the First
The
Lady
orange one is
of the United
speaking.
States.
I believe that is the vessel through which the orange creature reproduces.
Is it appropriate to stand right now? What is this culture?
I don't know.
ritual?
I think maybe they're all relieving gas. That's kind of the way the human beings.
Is this a Zumba class?
Could be.
Members of the United States Congress, thank you very much. And to my fellow citizens, America is back.
Back on the wrong timeline. We're gonna have to figure out a way to fix this. Another common sign of the creatures of lower intelligence is the incessant chanting.
6 weeks ago, I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of
what
our
do you got
country.
planned? You got any booby traps,
We have
a shrink
accomplished
ray,
more in
a
43
bot gas?
days
What do you
than
got
most
planned here?
administrations accomplished in 4 years,
I don't know.
8 years, and we are just
not
getting
looking good.
You want us to
started.
fix the timeline? You got nothing? You show up and
I-
you got nothing?
I tried the one. I'll try it again. Try this one. It oscillates matter at a subharmonic frequency in which we should be able to affect time and matter, but
I return to
this
this chamber
creature's
tonight to
strength is
report
just too much.
that
He's got these
America's
people under
momentum
his
is
thrall.
back, our spirit is back, our pride is back, our confidence
Oh,
is
Justin
back,
Z. Brown's
and the
there. How
American
did he
dream
get
is
here? How did he
certainly
get
bigger
there?
and better
Where's Justin
than
T. Brown?
ever before.
I'll be on there real soon. Don't worry about it.
The American dream is unstoppable, and our country is on the verge of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed and perhaps will never witness again.
They won't
Never
witness
been
again.
anything like it.
This creature he's intent on.
The presidential
The worst
election
timeline.
of November 5th was a mandate like has not been seen in many decades. We won all 7 swing states, giving us an electoral college victory of 312 votes.
What does USA spell? They keep spelling out USA. USA? What is USA?
I am not sure.
We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country.
I believe I'm on the wrong screen here. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just joining us, the creature who is affecting your timeline is. It looks like the creatures that lack power are trying to interrupt the creatures who have power to no real effect. They don't. The smaller
And won
creatures
counties in our
simply
country.
don't have the power.
2,700
With that magic wand,
to 525 on a map that reads almost completely red for Republican.
The red is also representative of the blood that will be spilled in the ensuing civil war
Now,
and
for
clash
the
between
first
these
time in modern
civilizations if we don't
history,
get on it.
more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction than the wrong direction. In fact, it's an astonishing record, 27-point swing, the most ever.
This is not this creature's true form, for anybody out there. This creature,
That's your warning. And I feel like that warning is going to be very well obeyed, and there are going to be no
Small
violations
business
of that
optimism saw
warning.
its single largest
Thank you,
one-month
Lieutenant
gain
Teasy, or Commander
ever
Teasy, I
recorded,
forgot your rank.
A 41-point jump.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning.
The creatures in charge right now
Members are engaged
have
in
historically
willful
been
and
known for
continuing breach of decorum, and the
enforcing
chair is
decorum. They're
prepared to
normally a
direct the
very
sergeant at
respectful
arms
group
to
of
restore
people,
order to the
so
joint
they're the
session.
ones that are demanding that the other creatures step down.
The body of law and order is what my background word search papers say. Therefore, I expect them to follow decorum.
Yes, they've always been the party of law and order, decorum, but they've been captured by the creatures standing at the podium. They do
Mr.
not
Green, take your
realize
seat.
this is not a
Take your seat,
human,
sir.
not one of their own.
Take your seat.
Also decorum, but I hardly know them.
This is a very touchy subject here because the white creatures have been known to shoot the black creatures with reckless abandon, so this could get really ugly here. Normally they could bring in an enforcement group to choke these people out. That's common strategy. So let's just hope that this is not where this is going. This could get ugly.
How will they settle this? Through a duel? How is it settled in this culture?
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in
Yes.
the House.
They are
Mr. President, you
the
continue.
white ones are always
you.
the ones that are maintaining
Over the
decorum
past
by
6 weeks,
never
I have
interrupting
signed
people,
nearly 100 executive
never yelling
orders
at foreign
and
leaders
taken more
in the
than
Oval Office.
400 executive actions, a record to restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land. The people elected me to do the job, and I'm doing it.
Yes, that's right, Lamb. No decorum, no decorum.
No decorum, no peace.
Shaw, thank you. And Average Bad, I know both of you didn't want to witness this. Most of you don't want to witness this, but I'm trying to have your
In
back here
fact,
by
it has been
repairing
stated
this
by
timeline.
many that the first month of our presidency, it's our presidency, is the most successful in the history of our nation. By many. And what makes it even more impressive is that, do you know who number 2 is? George Washington. How about that? How about that?
I think
I don't know about that list.
the leader, Donald Trump, is
But we'll
actually
take
number
it.
2.
Within hours of taking the oath
Like-
of office,
like
I
the
declared a
number one and
national
number two?
emergency on our
Yes.
southern border.
Number 2.
And I deployed the U.S. military and Border Patrol to repel the invasion of our country.
What is
What
love,
a job they've
baby? Don't
As a
hurt me.
result,
Don't hurt
illegal
me.
border crossings
No more.
last month were by far
He's going
the
to
lowest
get the
ever
northern border lockdown, which
recorded,
is
ever.
cause for concern. He does not want the ensuing Manitobans invasion that we've been planning to take over and enforce a series of woke politics in the United States. So
They
he's trying to
heard
lock
my
down the
words,
northern
and
border.
they chose not
We're
to
gonna
come.
send a regiment to
Easier that way.
Montreal and seize the
comparison, under
territory,
Joe Biden,
and you know
The
it'll be
worst
great.
president in American history. There were hundreds of thousands of illegal crossings a month, and virtually all of them, including murderers, drug dealers, gang members, and people from mental institutions
Hannibal
and
Lecter.
insane asylums,
Hannibal
released
Lecter.
into our country. Who would want to do that? This is my 5th such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease.
I mean, I looked at the crypto
disease that
prices,
would
and they
wipe
weren't doing
out
so hot
entire
recently.
nations,
So I blame that
or
all
announce
on
the
you,
answers
Trump.
to the
You
greatest
told me the
economy in
strategic
history,
reserve, and then it
or
went,
the
and it went to
stoppage of
shit.
crime
It went
to
to
the
shit,
lowest levels
Trump.
ever
That's on
recorded.
you.
And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly
What?
will not
You got a
cheer for the
space cat? Holy
astronomical
squatch.
achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. Five times I've been up here. It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way.
I'm sorry, people. Your timeline is just, it's thoughts. You don't even have any other word to say.
So
I'm not gonna
Democrats
be
sitting
able to do
before
this.
me,
I
Well,
believe
for
there's
just this
a
one
clip
night,
from
why not
Alien
join us
2.
in
Sigourney
celebrating so
Weaver
many
might have said
incredible
it.
wins for
I believe
America?
it's nuke it from orbit. It's the only
For the
way
good
to
of
be
our
sure.
nation, let's work together.
Is that
and
an
let's
option
truly
on the
make
table?
America great
We're trying to fix
again.
this timeline. TZ.
It might be past the point of redemption.
Do you think this timeline might start infecting? Let's ask Mr. Clock Radio, is this timeline possibly going to affect other timelines? Oh, hold on.
Every day my administration is fighting to deliver the
I'll ask you in a second.
change America needs to bring a future that America deserves, and we're doing it. This is a time for big dreams and bold action. Upon taking office, I imposed an immediate freeze on all federal hiring, a freeze on all new federal regulations, and a freeze on all foreign aid. I terminated the ridiculous Green New Scam. I withdrew from the unfair Paris Climate Accord, which was costing us trillions of dollars that other countries were not paying. I withdrew from the corrupt World Health Organization. And I also withdrew from the anti-American UN Human Rights Council.
He's basically withdrawing from all of the things that keep some of these people alive and going. So
We ended all of
Yeah, he
Biden's
looks like he's
environmental
suffering from
restrictions
withdrawal
that were
for
making our
sure.
country far less safe and totally unaffordable. And importantly, we ended the last administration's insane electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto workers and companies from economic destruction.
for those of you just joining us, I'm TM77
To
here to fix the
unshackle
timeline.
our
But
economy,
this timeline is
I have directed
it's
that
just
for every
messed
one
up
new
beyond repair.
regulation,
I'm sorry.
10 old
Nuke it.
regulations must be
Nuke it for more of
eliminated,
it.
just like I did in my very successful first day.
What does Digby have to say? What, Digby, is this timeline have any chance of being saved?
I
And
don't know,
in
but
that
this is
first
really
term, we
cool.
set records on ending
Incredibly boring, but
unnecessary
kinda cool.
rules and regulations
Seeing a
like no
civilization
other
essentially
president had
wipe
done
itself
before.
out.
We
I've never
ordered
seen that
all
before.
federal workers
I
to return
agree.
to
You
the
know, not
office.
everybody gets
They
to
will
see the end
either
of the
show up
world.
for
I'm
work
fucking
in
very
person
privileged. I mean,
or be
I'm very
removed from their
privileged
job.
to see the end of
It's
the apocalypse.
kind of like that book, The Restaurant at the End of the Universe. This is kind of like the White House at the end of the universe.
What are you ordering at the restaurant
And
at
we
the end of
invented
the
weaponized
universe?
government
What do you have
where,
to
Got
do?
as
ask
an
a
example,
guy,
a sitting
Zaphod
president
Beeblebrox or
is
something like that.
allowed
I don't
to
remember.
viciously
It's
Why?
been a long
prosecute
time.
his
You don't know
political
what you want to
opponent.
eat at a restaurant. You got to go to a book.
How
Oh
did that
my
work out?
goodness.
Not too good. Not too good. And I have stopped all government censorship and brought back free speech in America. It's back.
That's right. He brought it back.
What's free speech? Does that mean you
And
don't have
2
to pay
days
for
ago,
it?
I signed an order making English the official language
Yeah,
of
it's
the
like
United
free beer,
States of
free
America.
speech. You just get it. When you come to the party, you pay the cover charge. Free speech.
I mean, maybe we just leave orbit right now. Head
I
over
renamed the
set
Gulf
coordinates
of
for,
Mexico the Gulf of America.
Manitoba. Maybe we can fix your timeline. Let's see here. We're gonna see if we should just abandon this one. All right, let's see, Chop.
And likewise, I renamed for a great president,
Eh,
William
I don't know.
McKinley, Mount McKinley again.
Here's the report, the output to Canada.
Beautiful Alaska.
I don't know if that's good or bad. We'll have to
We've
consult
ended
Mr.
the
Clark Radio
tyranny
here
of
in a minute.
so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal government and indeed the private sector and our military.
The cut to
And our country
Ilhan
will be
right there,
woke no
incredibly terrible.
longer.
They want to focus on how cruel they are being to minorities. That's the whole point of this. Is just
We believe that whether you are
again
a
a sign of
doctor,
very
an
primitive
accountant, a
cultures.
lawyer,
I haven't
or
seen a
an
culture
air
this primitive
traffic
since
controller,
all of my travels over the
you should
galaxy.
be hired and promoted based on skill and competence, not race or gender. Very important.
And that's important to note that these are the most competent people in this culture, according to them.
You should be hired based on merit. And the Supreme Court, in a brave and very
I like the
powerful
section with the
decision,
pretty
has
pink
allowed us to
dresses.
do
That's
so.
nice.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We have removed the poison of critical race theory from our public schools, and I signed an order making it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
sigh. When you hear that kind of talk, it means that there's just no hope for the timeline, no hope for the
I
world
also
culture.
signed an executive order to ban men from playing in women's sports.
Always a sign of very primitive societies when they talk about who can or cannot play in the ball games, because those are so critical to.
This timeline, I think this timeline's beyond hope. I think I'm just gonna jump timelines and go fix someone else at this point. This one's beyond redemption.
I don't blame
in
you,
my
Tease.
opinion.
If you want to head up to the space bar or whatever it is, why don't you use some of my space credits and treat yourself?
In Peyton's face,
All right, well, thank you for having me. Good luck saving this timeline. I mean, it's great watching it go down in flames, but I know where this is going. Over and out.
Like she's never seen
Take care.
before. She's never seen anything like it. Peyton is here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team, or they will lose all federal funding.
Because that's what an advanced civilization should do, is be as cruel as possible, whenever as possible. That's why I'm here, to try to fix this timeline. I'm trying to take notes, but I don't know. I'm really sorry. I thought I could do it, but it's looking bad, folks. It's looking really bad.
And if you really want to see numbers, just take a look at what happened in the women's boxing, weightlifting, track and field, swimming, or cycling, where a male recently finished a long-distance race 5 hours and 14 minutes ahead of a woman for a new record by 5 hours. Broke the record by 5 hours. It's demeaning for women, and it's very bad for our country. We're
Is he
not
going
going
to
to
say
put
that
up
the
with it
wind
any
burned
longer.
her in the pool? A little bit. The wind burned her a little bit in the water, the pool, or whatever. I forget what it was. Lieutenant
What I have just
CZ
described
CR
is only a
completely
small
asleep.
fraction of the common sense revolution that is now, because of us, sweeping the entire world. Common sense has become a common theme, and we will never go back. Never. Never going to let that happen.
They're never going to give you up. Never going to let you down.
Among my
Never gonna
very
run around
highest
or desert
priorities
you.
is to rescue our economy and get dramatic and immediate relief to working families. As you know, we inherited from the last administration an economic catastrophe and an inflation nightmare. Their policies drove up energy prices, pushed up grocery costs, and drove the necessities of life out of reach for millions and millions of Americans. They've never had anything like it. We suffered the worst inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even in the history of our country. They're not sure. As President
He always loves to blame all of the previous things that are bad on somebody else, but all of the good things from the previous thing he also likes to take credit for. So also a sign of a high degree of intelligence.
Joe Biden especially let the price of eggs get out of control.
Those eggs are a really big
the
issue
egg
in
price
this
is
timeline.
out of control.
Play a central
And
role,
we're
the
working
egg.
hard to get it back down. Secretary, do a good job on that. You inherited a total mess from the previous administration.
Those egg prices
Do a good
probably
job.
will always be blamed on Joe Biden until Trump dies.
A major focus of our fight to defeat inflation is rapidly reducing the cost of energy. The previous administration cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%, slowed pipeline construction to a halt, and closed more than 100 power plants. We are opening up many of those power plants right now.
Power plants are cool. That's a good thing, right?
And frankly,
You don't know
we've
enough to speak
never
on this topic.
seen anything like it. That's why on my first day in office, I declared a national energy emergency. As As you've heard me say many times, we have
Emergencies
more
are
liquid
cool,
gold under our
right?
feet than any nation on earth.
Bigby,
And
if
by
you don't
far,
have anything that's
and
going to help
now
fix this timeline,
I
if
fully
you could,
authorize the most
hush up a bit.
talented team ever assembled to go and get it. It's called Drill Baby Drill.
Drills are really cool. I like electric drills. You should fix my stuff here with a drill, terminal mode, instead of just sitting around.
My administration is
Watching
also
stuff
working
like
on a
this.
gigantic natural gas pipeline in Alaska, among the largest in the world, where Japan, South Korea, and other nations want to be our partner with investments of trillions of dollars each. There's never been anything like that one. It will be truly spectacular.
There's a lot of
It's all
stuff that
set
there's
to
never
go.
been
The
anything
permitting
like, or
is
that
gotten.
people have never
And
seen the
later
likes
this week,
of
I will
with this
also
guy.
take historic action to dramatically expand production of critical minerals and rare earths here in the USA.
Rare earths. What a rare earths. Sound pretty cool though. A rare earth.
I think he meant rare earth metals. He's not the
To
brightest.
further
thinker.
combat inflation, we will not only be reducing the cost of energy, but will be ending the flagrant waste of taxpayer dollars. And to that end, I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency, GOES. Perhaps you've heard of it. Perhaps.
There he is. That's the man who we're supposed to deal with to fix this timeline, Digby. Can you get in there right now? Can you
Which
jump
is
in there?
headed by Elon
Take him out,
Musk,
Digby.
who's
Take him out.
in the gallery
I
tonight.
can't take him out. That's like impossible for me. Hey, tear my head off if I try to get in there and take that guy out.
This is just not going well, Digby.
Thank you, Elon. He's working very hard. He didn't need this. He didn't need this. Thank you very much. We appreciate
He
it.
didn't
Everybody
need
here,
to
even
get
this
in there
side,
and
appreciates it, I believe.
Make himself even more literal.
They just don't want to admit that. Just listen to some of the appalling waste we have already identified. $22 billion from HHS to provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens. $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is. $8 million
It's so
to
funny
promote
to laugh at the,
LGBTQI+.
To laugh at the plight of
In the
people who are
African
suffering.
nation of Lesotho, which
Always
nobody has
really,
ever
really
heard of.
funny.
$60 million for indigenous
Digby needs
peoples
some balls, huh?
and
Yeah.
Afro-Colombian
He
empowerment
could have fixed this
in
timeline.
Central America.
I'm
$60
not
million.
going in there.
$8
I just
million
wanna watch
for
this from
making
up here.
mice transgender.
This guy is not a
This
good
is real.
person, no.
$32 million for a left-wing propaganda operation in Moldova. $10 million for male circumcision in Mozambique. $20 million for the Arab Sesame Street in the Middle East.
Sesame
It's a
Street in the
program.
Middle East?
$20 million for a
They got
program.
rid of that?
$1.9 billion
Oh, man.
to
This
recently
timeline is screwed
created
up.
decarbonization
terrible.
of homes committee, headed up, and we know she's involved. Just at the last moment, the money was passed over by a woman named Stacey Abrams. Have you ever heard of her? A $3.5 million consulting contract for lavish fish monitoring. $1.5 million for
Lavish
voter
fish.
confidence
Lavish
in Liberia.
fish.
$14
sound
million
pretty
for
delish,
social
those lavish
cohesion
fish.
in Mali. $59 million for illegal alien hotel rooms in New York City. He's a real estate
What does he mean
developer,
by
he's doing very
illegal
well.
aliens?
$250,000
He's just
to
a
increase
dick,
vegan
Digby.
local climate action innovation in Zambia. $42 million for social and behavior change in Uganda. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. $47 million
Seems like they spent
for
all of that money
improving
on
learning
writing a
outcomes in
speech that won't
Asia.
end for this guy.
Asia's doing very well with learning. You know what we're doing. Should use it ourselves. And $101 million for DEI contracts at the Department of Education, the most ever paid, nothing even like it. Under the Trump administration, all of these
Yes,
scams,
Uganda.
and they're far worse, but I didn't think it was appropriate to talk about them. They're so bad. Many more have been found out and exposed and swiftly terminated by a group of very intelligent, mostly young people, headed up by Elon, and we appreciate it. We found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud.
Make note of this part right here. This is where we correct the timeline. That's the good cut right there. Elon, Trump saying something, Elon acknowledging it.
And we've taken back the money and reduced
the
our
timeline
debt to
here?
fight inflation and other things.
Oh, can't see the
Taking
timeline.
back a
How
lot
long
of
has this
that
been
money.
going
We
on?
got it just in
You guys'
time.
timeline is messed
This
up.
is just the beginning. The Government Accountability Office, a federal government office, has estimated annual fraud of over $500 billion in our nation, and we are working very hard to stop it. We're going to. We're also identifying shocking levels of incompetence and probable fraud in
right,
the
AB.
Social Security program for our seniors, and that our seniors and people that we love rely on. Believe it or not, government databases list 4.7 million Social Security members from people aged 100 to 109 years old. It lists 3.6 million people from ages 110 to 119. I don't know any of them. I know some people that are rather elderly, but not quite that elderly. 3.47 million people from ages 120 to
He
129.
just spent this entire speech making up statistics. It's just like
3.9
all of
million
this stuff is
people from
bullshit.
ages 130 to 139. 3.5 million people from ages 140 to 149. And money is being paid to many of them, and we're searching
All of this
right
is
now.
a drop. Even if this were
Fact,
true, it's all a
Pam,
drop in the
good
bucket
luck.
compared to the money they
luck.
give to the
You're gonna
defense,
find
the
it.
military-industrial
But a lot of
complex.
money is
so
paid out to
they're not going to
people
even touch that.
because it just keeps getting paid, and nobody does, and it really hurts Social Security
Another
and
good
hurts our
cutaway
country.
here, wherever this
1.3
point
million
is.
people from ages 150 to 159, and over 130,000
This is like the first
people,
time Republicans have
according
been
to
interested
the
in hearing about
Social
numbers and
Security
statistics.
databases are
They normally
over 160
don't even understand them.
years old. We have a healthier country than I thought, Bobby.
This man has been infected with a brain worm from a distant galaxy that we're also supposed to extricate while we're here, but we can't even fix this timeline,
Including,
so that brain worm
To
is going to
finish,
have to remain.
1,039 people between the ages of 220 and 229.
That's a good point, Lamb.
One person between the age of 240 and 249, and one person is listed at 360
This is exactly
years
what
of
Reagan
age.
did in the 80s when they were talking about
More than 100
welfare
years.
queens. It's the same.
More
It's just a
than 100
reboot of
years
that,
older
using
than our
different
country.
statistics. And I imagine that this is all going to be talk, so they can
But
go
we're
hard
gonna
against
find out
Social
where that
Security
money's
and
going.
pretend that it's about
And
eliminating
it's not gonna
fraud.
be pretty. By
But really,
slashing
the
all of
end
the
game
fraud,
is
waste,
to
and theft we
get
can
rid of it,
find. We will defeat
privatize it,
inflation, bring
do
down
whatever they
mortgage
can to
rates, lower car payments,
hurt
and
the
grocery
marginalized.
prices, protect our seniors, and put more money in the pockets of American families.
Well, thank you all for joining the stream. I'm sorry that rather than correct the timeline, it's just been a depressing
And today,
a
interest
series of
rates
lies,
took a
making your
beautiful
timeline
drop,
even worse.
Big, beautiful drop. It's about time. And in the near future, I want to do what has not been done in 24 years, balance the federal budget. We're going to balance it.
I'm going to do some of my cutaways here too, just to make it interesting, like they just did.
With that
Clock
goal in
Radio
mind,
is
we have
asleep.
developed in great detail
I
what
can do
we are
those cutaways
calling the
too.
Gold Card, which goes on sale very, very soon. For $5 million, we will allow the most successful job-creating people from all over the world to buy a path to U.S. citizenship.
Oh my God, they're
It's like the green
monetizing
card, but,
citizenship.
better
They're
and
monetizing
more
citizenship.
sophisticated.
Ugh.
And these people will have to pay tax in our country. They won't have to pay tax from where they came. The money that they've made, you wouldn't want to do that, but they have to pay tax, create jobs. They'll also be taking people out of colleges and paying for them so that we can keep them in our country instead of having them being forced out. Number one at the top school, as an example, being
And again,
forced
this
out
is
and
why I
not being allowed to stay
regularly
and
talk
create
about class,
tremendous numbers of
because
jobs and great success for
most of the people that come
a
over
company
are
out
of
there.
the,
So while we take
if
out
they're- if you have to fly
the
over here,
criminals,
you tend to
killers,
be
traffickers,
from
and
the
child predators
upper class, and now they're
who are
really
allowed
making
to
it
enter
so
our country
only
under
the
the
only
open
people that come
border
over here are the
policy of
wealthiest
these
people who are
people, the
gonna tend to
Democrats, the
align
Biden
with them.
administration, the open border insane policies that you've allowed to destroy our country. We will now bring in brilliant, hardworking, job-creating people. They're going to pay a lot of money, and we're going to reduce our debt with that money. Americans have given us a mandate for bold and profound change. For nearly 100 years, the federal bureaucracy has grown until it has crushed our freedoms, ballooned our deficits, and held back America's potential in every possible way. The nation founded by pioneers and risk takers now drowns under millions and millions of pages of regulations and debt. Approvals that should take 10 days to get instead take 10 years, 15 years, and even 20 years before you're rejected. Meanwhile, we have hundreds of thousands of federal workers who have not been showing up to work. My administration will reclaim power from this unaccountable bureaucracy, and we will restore true democracy to America again. Any federal bureaucrat who resists this change will be removed from office immediately. Because we are draining the swamp. It's very simple. And the days of rule by unelected bureaucrats are over.
Unelected bureaucrats. Somebody laughed there about Elon. He's not a bureaucrat, but he's unelected. And he's far more worthless than bureaucrats who kind of keep the
And the next
engine running.
phase of our plan to deliver the greatest economy in history is for this Congress to pass tax cuts for everybody. They're in there, they're waiting for you to vote. And I'm sure that the people on my right, I don't mean the Republican right, but my right here, I'm sure you're going to vote for those tax cuts, because otherwise I don't believe the people will ever vote you into office. So I'm doing you a big favor by telling you that.
He's
But
such
I
a
know
terrible
this group is
speaker.
gonna
It's
be voting for the
laughable
tax.
that people even it's like lost all his faith in humanity when I hear him talk and think that people look at somebody so fucking stupid. It's heartbreaking.
Thank you. It's a very, very big part of our plan. We had tremendous success in our first term with it. A very big part of our plan. We're seeking permanent income tax cuts all across the board. And to get urgently needed relief to Americans hit especially
Welcome to anybody
hard
who's
by
joining
inflation.
me. I'm gonna
I'm calling for
mute this guy. He's not saying anything. I just want to address anybody who's here right now and say that I came here to try to fix your timeline, but it doesn't look like it's fixable. Even with my most advanced tools, I got the oscillator, the vibration. Even oscillating your matter at a subharmonic frequency has not succeeded in changing the outcome for you people. It looks bleak. Again, I ran the numbers using some of my latest technology, and every time we get the report, it just looks like it. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Can't focus on it. Look at that. I'm sure you guys can translate that, or even though, well, maybe you can't. It doesn't. Music by Jake. What's up, man? And exactly, what's up, man? I'm here trying to fix your timeline. None of these people wanted to watch the Trump State of the Union, not State of the Union, but the I'm on the. Nobody wanted to watch it, but they're here hanging out with me, hoping, pleading that
With
I
Honda
could fix
just
this
announcing
timeline.
a new
but
plant in Indiana,
it doesn't
one
look
of the
like it's going to
largest
happen, Jake.
anywhere in the world.
It doesn't look like your timeline is fixable. So, to everybody who appreciated music by Jake and Turtle Time and voiceovers by Turtle Time, I'm really sorry. I'm not going to be able to fix this one. My camera is now
And
falling.
this has taken place since our
Breaking the fourth wall
great
here. Sorry
victory
about
on
that.
November 5th, a date which will hopefully go down as one of the most important in the history of our country.
Some issues with my spacecraft here.
In
Very
addition, as part
sophisticated
of our
spacecraft
tax
piloted
cuts,
by
we want
the
to cut taxes on domestic
most advanced
production
controller
and all
system.
manufacturing. And just as we did before, we will provide 100% expensing. It will be retroactive to January 20th, 2025. And it was one of the main reasons why our tax cuts were so successful in our first term, giving us the most successful economy in the history of our country. First term. We had a great first term.
If you have a cat, I would recommend you just lean in. And if your cat's not dependent
If
on
you don't make your product in America, however,
just
under the
appreciate
Trump
your cat while this
administration,
timeline
you will
still
pay a
exists,
tariff, and in
because
some
I don't
cases, a
think
rather
that,
large one.
there's any
Other
hope for you
countries
guys.
have used tariffs against us for decades, and now it's our turn to start using them against Mexico and Canada. Have you heard of them? And countless other
waging
nations
war with
charge
the
us
neighboring
tremendously
countries
higher
on your
tariffs
continent
than we charge them.
historically
It's
has
very
not worked out
unfair.
well for
India charges us
this
auto
primitive culture.
tariffs higher than 100%.
more than one occasion.
China's average
Hundreds of
tariff
thousands, if not
on our
millions, of
products
people
is
have died
twice
because
what
of
we
this sort of
charge
rhetoric.
them. And South Korea's average
Fortunately,
tariff is 4 times
this country's
higher.
northern
Think
and
of that,
southern
4
border
times.
far more intelligent than the culture that has elected this creature from another galaxy. That's part of why I'm here. This creature is tainting the timeline. He's dangerous, he's reckless, but people cannot see through him. They just seem to embrace him and get more and more entwined in a timeline that cannot be salvaged. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. This is just depressing.
Reciprocal tariffs kick in, and whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth. Whatever they tax us, we will tax them.
Maybe
If they do
it's
non-monetary tariffs
I'm laughing underneath
to keep
my
us
mask,
out
but
of
I
their market,
have to wear this
then
mask
we
to
will
keep
do
the
non-monetary
materials for the
barriers
timeline pure.
to keep them out of our market. There's a lot of that too. They don't even allow us in their market. We will take in trillions and trillions of dollars and create jobs like we have never seen before. I did it with China and I did it with others, and the Biden administration couldn't do anything about it because there was so much money they couldn't do anything about it. We have been ripped off for decades by nearly every country on earth, and we will not let that happen any longer. Much has been said over the last 3 months about Mexico and Canada, but we have very large deficits with both of them. But even more importantly, they've allowed fentanyl to come into our country at levels never seen before, killing hundreds of thousands
And again,
of our
this is just a lie.
citizens. and
Most of the fentanyl
many
comes
very
in
young,
through
beautiful people
legal
destroying
means, not a-
families. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. They are, in effect, receiving subsidies of hundreds of billions of dollars. We pay subsidies to
Or I
Canada,
didn't mean legal means. I believe
to
it doesn't
Mexico
come
of
through
hundreds
these
of
border
billions
points
of
in any
dollars,
case.
and the United States will not be doing that any longer. We're not going
Whoops.
to do it any longer. Thanks to our America First policies we're putting into place, we have had $1.7 trillion of new investment in America in just the past few weeks. The combination of the election and our economic policies that people of SoftBank, one of the most brilliant anywhere in the world, announced a $200 billion investment.
I don't know.
OpenAI
We've
and
got
Oracle,
just a few of us
Larry
here.
Ellison,
Do we? Let's take a quick vote.
announced
Do we want to continue this, or
$500 billion
I can go
investment, which they wouldn't
watch it by
have
myself
done
later on,
if
and
Kamala
we could
had
talk
won.
about something else. I could read a chapter of the book, whatever.
announced
This has been.
$500 billion
Everybody advised me not to do
investment.
this, but I decided
Tim
that I
Cook
wanted to try it. So
Called me. He said, I cannot spend it fast enough. It's going to be much higher than that.
let me
I
know,
believe.
AB and Lamp,
They'll be
what you think.
building their plants here instead of in China.
And anybody else is here.
And just yesterday,
Music by
Taiwan
Jake.
Semiconductor, the biggest in the world, most
200
powerful in the world,
billion.
has a tremendous amount, 97% of the market, announced a $165 billion investment to build the most powerful chips on Earth right here in the USA.
That's one vote to stop watching. AB says stop watching. Anybody else vote to continue watching? This is just.
And we're not giving them any money. Your CHIPS Act is a horrible, horrible thing. We give
Did he
hundreds
just say
of billions
CHIPS
of
Act?
dollars, and it doesn't mean a thing. They take our money and they don't spend it. All that meant to them, we're giving them no money. All that was important to them was they didn't want to pay the tariffs, so they came and they're building, and many other companies are
right.
coming. We
I'm
don't have to
going
give them
to.
money.
I'm going to
We
stop
just want to
watching
protect our
him.
businesses and our people, and they will come because they
I'm cutting the feed, as Jake says, and I'm emerging from my spacesuit here. Ugh. Ugh. I'm gonna be tainted by your timeline too, so. Ugh. All right. I gotta take off this stupid jacket too. All right. Well, I'm gonna try to do an edit of that. Gotta turn off my hardware here. I can't see chat because it fell behind something here. I move it. Oh, Digby's on top of chat. Digby. I gotta move Digby or move chat. Maybe I'll move chat up. Okay, move chat up. Now, if you feel like you have to watch it, I'm gonna watch it, but I don't want to torture anybody else here too much. If you see something, if you see a good thing that could be edited up, let me know. So, I'm sorry to take off my jacket here, but I live in Phoenix and it's hot, and I'm wearing a winter jacket to try to do a thing, to try to do a bit, and I think I'm done with the bit. I like the space ambience in the background, though. I don't know if I didn't want to abstain from reading, but I don't know if I want to have it on this this bit that I did here. I think I need to cut it up. So I'm gonna look here and see if the chapter is short. If the chapter's short, I'm gonna read it. If the chapter's long, I'm not gonna read it. So give me a moment to gather my thoughts. Sorry. As usual. I guess I gotta apologize now, so let's see here. That hood is crazy. Yeah, I've had it. It's some kind of snow jacket or something. Okay, it's a diesel jacket from back in the day. I don't even know if that's how to wear it, but I was trying to wear it in the most crazy way possible. So let's see here. And I don't even know how it turned out, me ranting in that costume. I don't know. I have no idea what I was doing. I was hoping I could get more people being like, what the fuck is this crazy looking dude in a jacket on a spaceship with a robot, but apparently people don't pay attention to those things. So if they don't pay attention to a dude wearing a jacket on a spacecraft with some cool robots, let's see if I can switch to my other robots. Yeah, I got Mr. Clock Radio. I'm going to ask him a question here, as we've done historically on the show. Mr. Clock Radio, was it a good idea for me to stop watching that stream, and or should I have continued to watch? Was it a good idea to stop watching?
Let me think about this. No.
Yes, Lamp was saying the same thing. Lamp said that I should have watched it. Chapter 20, if I read it, I'll reset up the stream if I do it. And nobody has to show up. You guys showed up for the ridiculousness that was that State of the Union. So I've got 11 pages. I'm going to read it. So I'm going to stop the stream. Feel free to join me again. Feel free not to join me. But whatever you want. And I have a little bit more time to talk after the fact if there's anything we want to talk. Music by Jake. It definitely caught your eye. I think you have to keep doing it consistently. Like R.M. Brown with the blue sweater and purple glasses. Yeah, I'm wondering where to go if I want to continue live streaming or reading books or doing whatever. There are some elements of live streaming that are superior to creating pre-edited content. Like a lot of times when I write my bits out and I try to do them, it seems very stale and contrived. So if I can do them live, maybe there would be more interest in something like that. Got a lot of ideas of things that I want to talk about too, and I constantly rant to my partner about them, and she's like, you're a broken record. You've been saying these things for 30 years now, so I thought maybe there's a group of people who want to hear me. I can take my rants that she's heard so many times, and I can bring them to a new group of friends. So I am going to stop the stream, and I'm going to make a new one for the book club, just so I can read this chapter. I feel like I did it every night. I've been pushing myself to do this, and I don't want Trump to have messed up my book reading. The book reading should have been what was important today, and I got sidelined thinking that I was going to be able to edit this, which I think I will be able to. I don't necessarily want to sit through a lot of it, but I'll try to put together a quick video, and maybe I release it as soon as possible. So thanks for joining this one. See me on the other if you still are bored and want to hang out. Here's some more Vonnegut. Or, I don't know, AB, you're the one that's been showing up all the time. Should I just read tomorrow, or would you join if I start reading? If you say you're tired, then I'm not gonna do the book club. So it's all on you, AB. All on you, buddy. And if you're not here, then you really I'm just gonna not do it if you're not here. Okay, then I'm going to start again, and maybe afterwards, if you want to, I don't know if you want to talk about your idea for a video, or if you want to you can hit me up in the Discord. So I will be back in just a few. Thanks again for putting up with this.